Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to this program, Everyday Gita, Daily Gita. Thank you very much. So let us pay our respectful obeisances to the Lord of the Universe, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Nitai Chaitanya ki Jai, Parshuram Bhagavan ki Jai, Vaman Dev ki Jai, Giri Govardhan ki Jai, Panchatattva ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Let us do the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are doing the chapter number 2, contents of Gita summarized. And the verse for today is 2.13. Dehinosmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namukhyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So this is very important verses of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is instructing about the knowledge of the self to Arjuna. So spiritual knowledge begins with this, the knowledge of the self. Bhagavad Gita is considered to be the ABCD of spiritual life. Anybody who wants to be very serious in spiritual life must first read Bhagavad Gita. And what is the first instruction that is given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna? You are not the body. You are the unchanging soul within the body. So what is the proof for that? So this is so logical. This is so beautiful analogy that Lord Krishna is giving. What is he saying? As the embodied soul is passing from different stages of life, just like there is Kaumaram, childhood, Yauvanam, youth, Jara, old age. We all see that. We have experience to see that no certain person, when he was born, he was a small boy, and his body grows to a youthful body, and slowly it becomes old. The body becomes old. Tatha dehantara prapti. Dehantara prapti means change of body. So the information is given to us about the change of the body. So this is a very natural cycle that happens. What is that cycle? First birth, from birth to childhood, childhood to youthhood, youthhood to old age, and dehantara prapti, transmigration of the soul. So Lord Krishna is informing Arjuna that it is very natural for every living entity to change the body at the time of death. So for that, one need not lament. Dhiras tatra na mukhyati. A sober person, an intelligent person, a knowledgeable person who has the information about the soul does not lament about this fact. Because such a person knows that the person who has died is not the soul. There is no death to the soul. That is why Krishna said in the previous verse that never was there a time that Krishna did not exist, nor you will not exist, nor all these kings in some future that they will not exist. So what does that mean? So Krishna is talking about the dweller of the soul. Just like if you take a car and a driver, the driver of the car cannot be mistaken to be the car. If there is some accident to the car, it is not necessary that the driver also has got that injury. So similarly, driver, just like how driver is the indweller who is driving this car, like that the soul which is there within the body, that is driving the body, that is owner of the body. Okay, so intelligent person must not lament about it. The analogy is very simple to understand, right? We can see this very clearly. We can see that a small child is there, and then there is a body is changing. Every day the body is changing. As per the science also, it is said that once in every 10 years, all the cells of the body completely replace itself. Even the scientists, they agree to this. So if the body is changing, but I am not changing my identity. When I was young, when somebody asked me, who are you? I said the same thing. And when somebody is asking me now also, I'm telling the same thing, that I am so and so. I'm saying that I'm so and so. Or the feeling of me when I was young, when I can remember that, when I was very young, I was doing something like this. I was doing some mischief when I was very young boy, like that, right? Now also I remember, now also I have the consciousness, right, about myself. So does it mean that I am the body, which was what it was when I was a small boy? Was that my body? It was my body, but it was not me. So this is the knowledge that we have to understand. And we cannot get this knowledge anywhere. There are so many universities which are teaching us technology, but nobody is teaching us this technology. This technology with which Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has built us, has put the eternal spirit soul inside a machine, the body, and the body is transforming every single day. And due to the effect of the material nature, I am recognizing myself as the body. I am mistaking that I am the body. And in that conception of life, a human being is spending all his life. Every decision of his life being taken is based on this assumption, this misunderstanding that I am the body. Just like in mathematics, we write a big formula. Generally, mathematical problems, when we solve, what happens is we start with a base equation, right? And from there on, if the equation, the first equation that we are putting goes wrong, then what happens to the problem? You're putting a 2-page solution, starting with one equation. The first equation is wrong. Then the entire problem is fully wrong. We will not get even a single mark for that. So this is our life. Without Bhagavad Gita, our life is like that solution to that problem, which is completely wrong. Just like writing a wrong answer to a question or addressing some other question than whatever question is being given. Like that, our life, we are trying to solve a problem which is not really a problem. And we are not trying to solve a problem which is really a problem. This is our life. So without Bhagavad Gita, we will completely waste our time in something which is not eternal. What is that? The body. And we are neglecting what is eternal. What is that? The soul. So the information has been clearly given in Bhagavad Gita. What are the characteristics of the soul? How to understand? Very analogies have been given. Now it is up to us to understand that we are not the body. And so when a person understands that he is not the body, there is a certain kind of activity that person will start. Activities of the soul. Until the person does not get this information that he is not the body, he will do activities of the body. Maintenance activities, basic activities, they are common between the liberated soul and the conditioned soul. But the difference is that a liberated soul focuses on this spiritual activities. His nature is fully spiritual. But a conditioned soul completely neglects the spiritual activities. Right? So just like if you have a nice car and every day you wash your car very nicely, but you don't give food to your driver, the driver will become thin and he may even die. So like that, if we do not give food for our soul, it's very dangerous. This is called spiritual suicide. And what is the food for the soul? Food for the soul is loving God. God consciousness is what enlivens the soul. That is what feeds the soul. We get happiness only from Krishna consciousness. And the so-called happiness that we are getting is from the senses. It is called the bodily happiness. The bodily happiness is coming from these senses. And just like the body, the happiness derived out of this body is also temporary, fleeting, and having different kinds of problems associated with the happiness. So whatever happiness you may think of with respect to the body is actually a problem. It is not actually happiness at all. So also there is here in the mention of the Prabhupada purport, it is being said that the Mayavada theory tries to say that the soul got divided from the Supreme Soul. And now it will have to go and join back with the Supreme Spirit Soul. That is not possible, because in the Bhagavad Gita, in the coming verses, we will see that soul cannot be cut into pieces. It is unchangeable. And Krishna also is telling, neither I was not there, nor you are not, will not be there in the future. In the past also, you and me were there. In the future also, you and me will be there. That means Krishna is the super soul. Arjuna is the living entity. Always these two will be there. Right? So we are the part and parcel of that whole. Right? But still, we have to understand that this soul is a small fragment of the Supreme Spirit Soul. The way we can understand the difference between us and the Super Soul is, if you see a reflection of the sky during the day, we can see sun reflected. And during the night, you can see moon along with the stars. Right? So if you see the reflection, you can see that there is one moon and many stars. So this one moon or one sun is Paramatma. Right? Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman means there is one singular person who is maintaining the plural. There is one supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is maintaining all the living entities. He is not affected by material nature. He is not affected by Maya. How is it possible that God can be affected by his own Maya? If God gets affected by his own Maya, how can he be called as God? That means there is something more powerful than God. That is his Maya. Then Maya becomes the God. So this is a false theory. Just like if there is sunlight coming from sun, the sunlight which is originating from the sun cannot cover the sun. It is originating from the sun. Like that, we have to understand this. So today's verse is about this knowledge of the soul. It's very important for us to understand that we are not the body, and we should start doing the activities for our soul, the activities which will help us for the Dehantara Prapti, for getting a next body. Now getting the next body is certain. Whether material or spiritual, it is certain that we are going to get another body. That is, nobody can escape that. Now, given that, how do we ensure that we get a spiritual body? If we don't ensure that we get a spiritual body, we will get another material body of suffering. Not just one, but repeatedly we will get that. And if by our misfortune, if we fall down to the species of animals, then the time for getting another human life will be some millions of years. So that will be a very big opportunity lost. So we must take this information from Bhagavad Gita and become very alert and follow the instructions of Lord Krishna and follow this Krishna consciousness very carefully. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any questions, we can take them up now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.